Welcome to the essential ideas of natural law.
Here we go. Welcome to the LIBERcast episode 134. I'm happy about how it's going with the podcast. There's work that's done there, and the last episode for sure wasn't the most popular for a reason, and this has to be said far and wide, and I'm not even fucking kidding about this. This is a crucial aspect, that it's still a device for divides into people's mind and into communities, into things like that. So there's, I mean, the fact that the only fact that we have to cover this again and again, and reminding people the nature of what is happening and the consequences of these things that we're doing to our brothers and sisters from the animal kingdom. I see the reasoning, and I see the chicanery and the hypocrisy of it through my own eyes and through social medias as such. Hypocrisy is the word there, and moral relativism is as strong as it was before, or even stronger. This is what we have to deal with. Simple as that. Moral relativism. And this one part is one of the worst mind control, one of the worst weapons that it used against people, because of the consequence, because of the principle of cause and effect, because of the principle of natural law and things like that. We're gonna have the time to maybe get into them and sharing why eating meat is immoral and illegitimate, and that it's violence. This is the definition of violence and slavery, and we have to be honest about this. I'm not here to fucking bring you good news and things like that. I'm here to bring you the hard, harsh truth about this. And I have a guest that I'm gonna introduce now. Here we go. Hey, Jeffrey. You're muted, I think. Still muted. So when we're gonna correct this, the LIBERcast is on YouTube, Facebook, Odysee, Telegram, and a bunch of others. I cannot remember. I think Rumble, I started there, and BitChute and things like that. So, but I suggest you to go right on Odysee. Let me see if it's coming from my hand. Hello? Oh my God. Let me see. Maybe it's coming from my hand again. No. Just if you want to, just quit and come back. Maybe it's gonna work. So when there's a problem there. We're gonna wait a little bit. So yeah, LIBERcast, YouTube, Facebook. The group is on there. Facebook. Join us there. I'm putting all the updates and the work of other people. And there's and by the way, I want to impress the work of Mark Passios, one of the greatest magi's of the modern world. And I would encourage you to go there and look upon his work. Incredible, deep. It's very concise. Everybody can understand it, and you have to start with, oh yeah, I still don't hear you. God damn it. I don't hear you. We have a problem there. He's gonna try to come back. And if you want to get into his work, there's a presentation. It's called the Natural Law Seminar. It's one of the greatest presentation ever. And then if you want to get deeper into this, you can absolutely go on the podcast section of his podcast and start from number 1, because this is a ongoing work through the years, and there's so much information there. It's incredible. So I mean, plenty of I'm gonna try to bring up my screen there. Here we go. So here we go. What on earth is happening.com is his work. You know, there's the show section, the podcast, and all the things that you need to know. And there's a course, how to be the true media, that's happening right now every Monday. So go look into this incredible work of in the occult and morality and natural law and things like that. Incredible work. I'm gonna try to bring it up once again.
Check. Can you hear me?
Here we go. You okay, man?
All right. That was weird. Sorry about that. It was working.
No problem. No, it happens all the time. You know, even for myself.
The problem is I can't hear you now. Hold on one second.
Let me see.
Okay, here we go. Check. You there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
So I was saying welcome, man, and thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. And just talk to me about you, who you are and where you're going and what is your work, where we can get it.
So my name is Jeffrey Phillips. I'm a former major label recording artist, musician, and I am also a animal rights activist. I've been I was raised McDougal vegetarian from birth, unvaccinated at birth. My mom was really cool. She had me home birth, no drugs, unvaccinated, raised McDougal vegetarian until in the 90s, I got really involved in the vegan straight edge movement. I don't know if you've heard of that. Hardcore music or like metalcore. There was a specific kind of like a movement of kids back in the day that didn't do drugs, didn't smoke, didn't drink, and like listen to specific music, and we're also vegan. And so I'm from this very old school kind of 90s era of veganism. And back in the day, if you sold out veganism or sold out anything like that, like if you misbehaved, if you didn't represent what you spoke, back in the day, you kind of like, we'd kick your ass and you wouldn't be able to go to like hardcore shows for a while and hang out with your friends. So when I came to the truth movement, the liberty movement back in the day, in around 2011, I was kind of shocked by the amount of misbehavior going on. people scamming large amounts of people and getting away with it, and people still supporting those people, and lots of just like like you in the truth movement, you talk about not wanting to have rulers and masters and stuff like that. Yet I was seeing a lot of people in the truth movement treating other people like they were leaders and stuff like that. Like a anarchist leader is an oxymoron. So I've always been kind of a little bit loud about my criticisms of people within this movement. I've always kind of considered myself kind of a little bit of a watchdog. I've always on my YouTube, whenever I've seen things happen, people getting scammed in the truth movement, scammers in the truth movement, I've tried to do some investigating, and I usually do videos on just because so many people forget. People scam people in the movement and completely forget 5 minutes later, and these people are still kind of celebrated as leaders in the movement. So I've accepted the fact that I'm going to have a bad reputation with a lot of people in order to put out the truth. And so I've always been a fan of Mark Passio's work, but I didn't fully engage in it until somewhat recently. And I because of my podcast, a lot of people from One Great Work and people of fans of the One Great Work Network came to my show. And so I started paying a little bit more attention to the One Great Work Network. And I was just like, what's going on here? There seems like there's guys like promoting carnivore diet in the One Great Work Network, like what's going on here? Because I thought, like we were all supposed to be doing shadow work and, always supposed to be working on towards doing less harm. And if you're promoting the fact that you're not even trying to do the least amount of harm, it's a little strange that you're on the One Great Work Network. And it seems like I would say the overwhelming majority of the people on the One Great Work Network are still carnists, which is pretty shocking. So I do this weekly podcast. I also do debates. I've debated some big carnivore influencers. I debated a farmer about whether or not animal agriculture or plant agriculture does the most harm, which he eventually conceded after probably 4 separate debates. We had 2 major debates on a channel called The Crucible, which is a moderated debate channel, which is a very anti-vegan moderated debate channel too. And so I actually went on The Crucible and beat a farmer in a debate about the ethics around animal agriculture. I also I debated a kid named Joey Schwartz. His name's Carnivore Camaraderie on YouTube. He's a pretty big YouTuber. I just kind of just doing fun activism. You can't if you're vegan, if you're really vegan and not just plant-based, you have to also be an activist at the same time. It's that's kind of the big distinction between plant-based and vegans. Vegan people, it's a lifelong commitment to animals. The plant-based diet is just vegan because it's healthy, type of thing. It's not a moral thing. So I've always been a big animal rights activist, and so this is just how I do work. On my podcast, we showcase really good activists and in my opinion, really bad activists at the same time. So it's kind of fun. It's open and live, which means anyone can come while we're doing the show and talk to us. And we challenge carnists all the time to debates. All the time, all week, I'm challenging carnists to come up on my show, and none of them ever do. It's kind of telling. but I do I name names. Like, I'm one of these people who does choose a side, and I will name names, and I will be very brutally critical of truthers that claim to know the truth, who espouse my ethics as their own. They want to pat themselves on the back because they aren't walking around punching humans in the face. They go along with the non-aggression principle, and that's not that interesting to me. That doesn't seem like you're doing work. Not punching a human every day is not doing work. It's far beyond just the human element. And I know Mark, is always talking about saving humanity. But saving humanity and saving the animals can be done at the same time. I see a lot of the people on the One Great Work Network get caught up in this idea that we can't chew gum and walk at the same time. While you're doing your activism to save humanity, choose to not eat animals for lunch and dinner and stuff like that. That's all it takes. And then speak, in your words, which, I mean, if you're in a natural law, not eating sentient beings, it's just going to make your message sound that much better. So it's I don't know. So yeah, so the One Great Work Network has just kind of been like, it's just a little frustrating because there's so much nonsense up there. But I understand that Mark is running a business and he can't heavily criticize people that are giving him money. It's just not a very good business move. So it's a little disappointing and frustrating. But since Mark isn't in a position to do it, I'm going to do it. So I've been keeping tabs on certain people in the One Great Work and doing research on them and really diving into their work to see if it's worth a damn. And I'm finding a lot of these guys' work falls really flat, considering that it just sounds like they just sound very hypocritical because they still are eating sentient beings and making excuses for eating sentient beings. And trying to make their own factions of natural law that includes being able to eat sentient beings. And so it's just kind of my pet project to keep a hold of these guys, keep an eye on these guys. These guys all block me immediately. They don't want to talk to me about this stuff at all, which is very telling. I would never, especially like, I don't know, like if I wasn't me and I had me after me, I wouldn't block me. I would want to be watching what I was doing, but these guys just like take the cowardly route. They don't want to have their message criticized because they want to do great work, but they're not doing great work. They're just kind of doing like mediocre work. A lot of it is a lot of it's hard to follow because it's just like if you don't understand non-aggression fully, and you don't understand that it's immoral to kill animals unnecessarily for food, when they're sentient beings just like we're sentient beings. So it's a little shocking. But the last 5 episodes of Mark's show were amazing. After he came back from his hiatus, he was spitting fire, like I've never seen, and like, so I and then he ended the podcast. So I kind of, we're just keeping it going here on Sundays. I used to do the show on Wednesdays, but I switched to Sundays. So natural law, people can have some place to hang out. Since Mark's show's gone. But anyway, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, this is like I like we talked before. This is what I kind of do, but with my aesthetic and my words, and I have the chance of doing it in two languages, so I can reach more people. The French people that I get to, and I'm very happy to have to at this time, connecting like that is is a blessing, if I can use the word. This is a hard time that we're living in because of the cognitive dissonance that is infecting all the communities and things like that. And one thing that makes me angry and sad at the same time is the ignorance that is. I mean, I can't even fucking sustain myself and not raging about it and not getting angry.
I knew, like,
What-
when I started looking at One Great Work, I was like, oh man, these guys in here that actually know what's going on must be really frustrated with all these other guys. And I kind of started doing the show, for those people basically. And a lot of, a lot of people from One Great Work have hit me up and been like, thanks, man, keep doing that, like keep doing the show. Cause, it's important, and it's been really cool to have, you guys organically come out of the woodwork, because I had a feeling it was very frustrating to put your heart and soul into something and have these people just take it halfway, pitch the tent halfway up Mount Stupid and just sit there and claim to be shamans and gurus and stuff, like, and it's like, bro, you aren't even close.
Yeah, and usually I'm not pointing out groups or things like that, but the freedom movement as such, in every aspect, in the social media. I know it's not the be all end all in the social media, but it gives you an idea of where people are with morality. And what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is evil. I think it's very clear for me. And the fact that they cannot even fucking get into an argument or a debate without losing their minds or rage quitting or things like that. This whole community it's founded on sand. It's fucking slipping all around. People are now, with the time, being there and look at the people. There's unfortunately echo chambers and clubs, things like that prevents us from moving forward into this great work that we're doing. And we're actually slowed down because of that, because there's cognitive dissonance and there's pretentiousness that came, and it's all mixed together. And now we have to go through this and pointing out to people and all the confusion and the lies and the deceptions that is projected through there. I cannot fucking believe that we have to sit down and talk about why it's bad to kill animals, why it's bad to torture them, why it's bad to fucking enslave them and put them into factories from the time that they're born and the time that they're going to the slaughterhouse. How much proof that you need? Have you seen, and I'm not talking to you, Jeffrey, but for the people who are not even looking into that, if you have the fucking balls to go through Earthlings or Dominion all the way and come back to me and tell me that you don't feel anything, then you're a fucking sociopath. I don't know what to say. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. And most people will ignore this because of validation from the others, or being accepted somewhere, or not or not getting into arguments or debates. And there's a way to do it, healthy arguments and debates. But I don't think the people are there now. They're still into this fucking confusion and moral relativism that is plaguing this movement. So can you explain your definition of natural law in correspondence with animal right and veganism?
So when I was younger, when I was like back in the 90s, I was telling you about, I was like a heavy metal guy, you know, black hair, black nail polish, you know, 666, you know, like all, you know, into the Satanism stuff. And I really thought, you know, at that time, Satanism was really cool because it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to, you know, I can just take care of myself and, you know, screw everyone else. That's cool. You know, it's like the Satanism was kind of like it like kind of put like fake morals on, you know, just being, you know, taking care of yourself and being like, it's okay to just take care of yourself. You don't have to take care of anyone else. And so I thought that was kind of cool growing up. And then, you know, growing up in the United States, watching our media, they tell us over and over again that Satanists are actually like devil worshippers, like that sit around in a pentagram and worship the devil and sacrifice animals and stuff like that, which makes you in your head be like, oh, that's not me. That's some weirdo that's into, you know, Aleister Crowley and all this weird stuff, or the Church of Satan, and like, you know, like that's not me. And that's the biggest kind of the biggest trick they played on us, was convincing everyone that they're not Satanists when they are. Our society is a very satanic society, in the way, and in the idea of a lot of people just doing whatever they want and putting just garbage out into the world, making hell on earth, basically. And so natural law to me is the opposite of Satanism. It's how you live your life to put positive out in the world, to create positivity and community and stuff like that. Natural law, obviously, if you treat a community a certain way, the outcome is going to be bad for that community. And if you treat a community in a different way, in a good way, it's going to turn out good. So the laws are, you know, having to do with what is good or bad, and what we can see like is a measurable thing in our lives, negativity versus positivity. So obviously, if everyone has a what do we call it, a karmic inventory, we're going to have big problems when you're eating. You're going to have a lot of problems if you're eating 7 to 8, 9 animals a day. Your karmic inventory is going to pile up, and you're not going to, you know, you're just, it's not good for your self-image, when you have a bunch of, you know, dead animals in it's just, it's kind of hard to, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I'm having like a brain fart right now. I need sugar.
It's okay, man. I mean, in a way, you know, I can talk about this all the evening and part of the night. You know, I
got in.
Go on.
I got into the liberty freedom thing in 2011, and a lot of my friends at that time, that found, I don't know if you ever heard of Ron Paul. We had a guy that ran for president. Yeah. Who was pretty awesome, who really red pilled millions and millions of people around 2012. And a lot of my friends that got red pilled during that time have not progressed in the least bit since then. They're still in this really like elementary school, oh, the government's bad, we got to expose the government. And, you know, meanwhile, I'm still going to a 9-to-5 where I'm paying all the taxes, buying new cars, buying homes, you know, doing all these things that are supporting the satanic system. They're not doing anything in their lives different than they were before they got red pilled. But now they should know better but they haven't. And a lot of these guys I've seen over the years, I hit them up and I'm like, dude, you haven't like moved on, you know, from like being angry at government and just like, that's it. And, you know, like you were saying, it's like all these people, they're just suspended in this kind of, in this happy place where they don't have to do any work. They're still, I have to be in the system because I'm a part of it because it's here. And it's like, no, you can be, you know, an agorist. You can do agorism and avoid government in huge ways and cut down on the amount of taxes, amount of money that you're putting into the system that goes and bombs people overseas with our money, and B, supports carnism, basically. The subsidies, billions of dollars goes into animal agriculture, just because of for tradition, like for not even a real good reason. We already grow enough plants to feed everyone in the world, but we feed a lot of those to animals at a deficit. When you feed a cow, when you raise a cow, you're feeding that cow millions and millions and millions and millions of calories, and you're only getting out a fraction of that in the end. So literally people are starving, literally starving. Like the cows in the United States are fed better than people all around the world. It's pretty wild. But yeah, back to these people that are suspended. Yeah, it's you know, it's Dunning-Kruger. It's I'm red pilled now, so I know everything, and I don't have to change what I'm doing in my life. I just have to keep going on Facebook and telling all my friends how bad the government is. That's all any of these guys do. And it's so boring. It's 2024, right? Like it's not 2011 anymore. We've figured out that government's bad, and we've also figured out the government is mostly in our head. So, you know, and then you get past that, and then you start on the shadow work, and you start going, okay, why am I still programmed? Like, how am I still programmed by the state, by the powers that be? You have to figure out how you still are programmed and unfuck yourself. You know, like we're all fucked up. Like I've been in this stuff for a long time, and I'm still completely programmed by the state still. You know, because I was raised in the system, and we're all raised in the system, but we're still all very programmed. And I see a lot of these guys on One Great Work Network, talking as if they are beyond all this. They've figured it all out, and that now, you know, everyone else has to figure it out, and they're going to tell them how to fix themselves. And it just cracks me up. I laugh every time at these guys. And I'm like, dude, you're still eating sentient beings. You haven't figured anything out yet. You know, like that's the litmus test. Like you have to figure that out on your own and be like, oh no, I'm vegan now. This is wrong. I am vegan. And this whole, we need to save humanity first. What? Like it's the same stuff. Stop killing. Stop killing anything that lives, that has eyes, that breathes. It's that easy. Like Tolstoy, you know, like all these old philosophers, they had this all figured out. Like if we're still in the mentality to be killing animals unnecessarily for food, then we're still in the mentality to continue wars that are completely immoral and wrong. It's the complete same thing. Killing is bad. Killing has always been bad. So how, you know, it's just funny to see these people calling me immoral for suggesting that they go vegan when they're killing, you know, up to 10 animals a day for a specific taste, and poisoning their body and poisoning the environment, and, you know, continuing the cycle. All like without government subsidies, people wouldn't be able to eat as much meat as at all. Like back in the day, it was like the kings and stuff. They were the guys that would get all the meat, and everyone else would eat bread and potatoes and beans and stuff like that. So it's like this whole psychopathic waste that we have going on in the United States that's state subsidized. They pay for 90% of the meat you eat. So like it's funny, like these carnists will be like, oh, you're trying to make the world vegan. And it's like, dude, you're going to be vegan once the subsidies go away. You won't be able to afford the meat anymore. Like, you get it? Like, it'll be $200 a pound. Like, because it's psychopath, it's psychotic, it's economically insane to grow an animal to kill it for food. It's too much water, too much space, too much time, too much medical attention, too much food. It doesn't make sense. You will lose no matter what. If you're going to kill the animal and sell it, you will sell it at a loss. Therefore, the government has to pay to make it easier for the farmers to actually make money to sell the meat. It completely wouldn't be how it was. Like, all these guys, oh, I can just go hunting, yeah. All you idiots with your, go hunting and go kill all the animals in a week, like, just I don't know, the dumb stuff I hear all day long. And I've been hearing this stuff since the 90s, bro. I've been vegan since being vegan in the 90s was crazy. People thought it was really cool back in the day. We did not, I mean, there was definitely vegan hate, but it's not as one-sided as it is now. Now it's like a landslide, but I don't know. I just jumped around to a bunch of subjects there, but yeah, one great work. I guess, we just gotta make better work than everyone. We just gotta keep making content and make better stuff than these guys, and keep pointing out how full of shit they are, because they're very full of shit. I can't even watch these guys' videos without just laughing in their faces. Like, you've got to be kidding me. They're speaking as if they're vegan, like they're using my rhetoric, my ethics for their life, where they're still consuming animals and the secretions of animals and taking advantage of animals in more ways than not. So it's like, it's very strange, but I'm glad that there are I'm glad I was right, that there are people in One Great Work who are frustrated and who do understand. I mean, dude, how many like natural law vegans are there? Like 100, 200 of us, period. Like, we're a low percentile, man. We're in a minority, and it's super wild. I think you might be muted. I'll just keep going, I guess. You guys there? You there? I can't hear you anymore, Fred. And I don't think I hear you on the stream either. But anyway, the guys, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think he's muted. Hopefully he'll figure it out. Anyway, so yeah, so
sorry about that.
There we go. There you are. There you are.
Yeah. So sorry about that, people. It was from my end, a mistake. So I agree with you with your points, and I think it's worth talking about it and pointing it out. And what I would like to see in the future is more people from the One Great Work actually getting into this conversation together and being able to be at least fucking honest about it and trying to do the work. And you mentioned the shadow working and things like that. I mean, how much fucking pretentious talking that we can hear, how much pretentious people are in every aspect of this community. There's I had to point it out. I started this series. It's called Culture of Freedom, and I started pointed out things like that. But I think my last podcast on carnism was a very good, very concise rant about the whole situation of carnism in the freedom movement. I cannot fucking believe that I have to fucking take you by the hand and fucking show you the truth. And actually, common sense and all backed up by natural law. All backed up by natural law. And ignoring this very fact is actually fucking putting us down. It's incredible. I cannot fucking sometimes I understand perfectly Mark Passio's fucking getting angry about this and the lack of honesty in this movement, and I don't care. I got sure that the message would be there. I want people from inside the One Great Work Network actually hearing this, because it's very important. It's not something that we can laugh about. It's not the bacon jokes that gonna save the situation. This immature, fucking childish response to a legitimate moral aspect of living our life and in connection with natural law. It's undeniable. You're gonna have to get fucking through it. And I'm not talking to you, Jeffrey. I'm talking to the people there. You're gonna have to get your head out of your ass. This is what you're gonna have to do, because at this point we cannot go further than that. There's so much division, there's so much chicanery. We're not gonna get through it. We're gonna have to deal with this same old moral relativism. This is what we have to do. It's pound this fucking information. What is good, what is right and wrong, what is good and bad. Again and again and again until people fucking understand it. Not just fucking repeating it and doing presentation and regurgitating work. You have to fucking actually do something. You have to get yourself involved into this, and you have to fucking educate yourself and on what is important is what are the consequences of my behavior. This is where it's coming. This is where it's going. It's always going to be about that.
Yeah, it's not.
I hope the people from the One Great Work Network who are carnists and fucking defending this, you need to get fucking right on that, or stop fucking acting like a children and sending fucking retarded jokes or being aggressive about it. Be fucking honest.
Yeah. Anyone on One Great Work, like when asked, any carnist, when asked why they're still a carnist, their response should be like, I'm having a hard time with it. I'm working towards it. Like I obviously know it's bad, but it's something I'm working towards. I'm getting better, blah, blah, blah. It shouldn't be the complete opposite. Vegans are, you don't want to talk to vegans. Vegans are polarizing. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's pretty wild to hear people literally use anti-vegan rhetoric in One Great Work. And it's shocking, like literally the Corey guy, like literally posts promoting people to go look into carnivore diet and keto and stuff like that. And, and it's just like, dude, did you pay attention at all? Like, so you're going to promote people to double down on the most immoral subsidized food on the planet that is the least like these guys think that if government was gone, no one's being carnivore. No one's being keto. They can't afford it. it's not how the world works. It's not how markets work. It's not how the free market works. Like all of the energy and time and money that puts into a life being produced, once you kill it and chop it into little pieces, you can't sell those pieces expensive enough to make up for all that time. It's economic illiteracy by these people who claim to be the most economically literate. Like these libertarian truthers that are also supposedly for the free market and anti-subsidy and anti-welfare state, then they go and do keto, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? And these are the same people that buy new cars every couple of years and buy houses and pay taxes for everything. And they're just all, oh, well, I have to live in the system. I don't want to go live in a cave. And it's like, well, there's a big difference between living in a cave and buying new car every 3 years because you feel like you're entitled to have some new car around you. When you buy a new car, you're creating a tax entity that's going to generate revenue for the war machine for the next 30 years, probably. It's just like creating a new human that's going to be taxed. So these people claim to be like fiscally literate, but then are doubling down on the most subsidized, most immoral, most harm possible diet, carnivore or keto. It's mind-boggling. And these dudes on the One Great Work are promoting it. And it's like, it's like I have to, sometimes I'm just like, oh, why isn't Mark vetting anything? But it's like it's a business. It's just a business. It's a business to launch pad activists, and whatever activism they're doing, I guess. But I thought we were there for natural law, but I guess, I guess whatever flies, there's Catholics and weird fake animists and stuff up there. And, they're trying, like I said earlier, they're trying to faction out natural law and make their own cool little easy version where they don't have to need any willpower to stop eating animals or anything like that. They can just have their they could just sit in their tent halfway up Mount Stupid and be like, no, this is fine, but it's not fine because you got to continue your activism. You can't stop. And if you're not going to do, you have to implement these things in your life or else there's no point to doing YouTube. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. And so many activists, because I've worked for a lot of activists over the years. I've been a journalist for a lot of independent media companies. I've been on InfoWars. Like I've done a lot of these things, and these guys, they don't do in their lives what they talk about on their shows. And it's always driven me absolutely crazy because how are we supposed to teach if not by example? And it's just these guys think, oh, I'm popular. That means I don't have to do anything. These Larkin Roses and these dudes like this that just, oh, I'm putting out content. Therefore, I can just continue to live this satanic lifestyle. And it's bullshit. And they're full of shit. And they're not on the level we're on at. That's for sure. Like these dudes, like the 10 guys that come up on my channel. Oh my God. Like we could destroy anyone any day. Any one of us, as well as you, could destroy any of these guys in a debate on morality any day of the week. They cannot get to where we're at. They can't do it. So it's funny to see them squirm and do the mental gymnastics and just make a bunch of content and act like they're gurus and shamans when they're not even 2 rungs up the ladder yet, like in my opinion. And I think these, I don't know. I don't like, it offends me to see One Great Work thing up on these dudes' channels, and because I understand what it means to you guys. So it's annoying, but it's something I guess we're going to have to live with, and we're going to have to let that annoyance and disappointment fuel our own work. and continue. Like you got a ton of, you have like 150 episodes or something. You got a ton of episodes you've done. That's way more than most of these dudes. I've looked at all their numbers. Like their numbers are like Corey's numbers. Oh my good Lord. Like, you know, the guys I mostly go after, there's 3 guys I usually go after. They have terrible numbers. But they just keep putting stuff out, you know, like they just keep putting the same garbage over and over and over and over again. You can see, you know, you just hear Mark talking or some other guy talking. They're not making any new ideas. They're not coming up with any new clever things to, you know, catch maybe more mainstream attention. You know, they're just making this infield baseball, like you said, echo chamber, where it's like, it's a couple hundred truthers making videos for each other and no one else sees the videos, you know, and everyone's like, oh man, oh, you know, Will Keller, oh, your videos are so good, man. Oh man, every day I see these comments, this empty, nobody's discussing what the guy's talking about in his videos. No one's actually like elaborating or going into it. They're just blowing smoke up his ass. And it's just like, no one's getting taught anything. No new people, no eyes are being opened. No one's being red pilled by any of this work, you know? And so it's just, you know, like I said, I'm just letting it motivate me to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, everybody hates on me because I go hard on these guys, but, you know, the truth is belligerent. Who's told us that? You don't, just because I'm not being nice and I'm being aggressive and I'm being straight to the point doesn't mean that the information I'm saying is bad. I'm probably more right than you'd like to know. And these days, like you were talking about earlier, there's no real good discussions. There's literally just, you gotta dump as much good information at these people as you can, because these people are smart. And especially a lot of the people I deal with super smart people on my Facebook page, but they turn into infant beasts when the topic of veganism comes up. Their arguments go out the window. They start arguing like the worst leftists you've ever heard in your life. You know, their arguments go so bad. So it's like, it's very frustrating to see how dumb smart people can be when it comes to this subject. It's very frustrating, and I have to like step back and go back into YouTube land sometimes because you know, I'm trying to promote my channel on Facebook, and I have to, you know, get in and go to bat with these guys. But so okay, well, that's what I was saying. So these are smart people. So the more good information that makes sense that you tell them, it's going to stick. They're not going to like it. You know, I'm not expecting any of these guys to be, oh, okay, you're right, I'm going to go vegan. Like, give me a break. Like, they expect, like, you're not going to convince me. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to convince you, but I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff. And then when you're at your doctor's and they say that you have, you know, your cholesterol, you're about to have a coronary, you're going to remember that stuff that I said for that period of time, because it made sense and it's relevant and it's happening. And hopefully, I just hope that I say enough good shit that these guys, it sticks enough to where maybe when they are with their doctor and they will actually consider it, because of all the stuff that we, you know, it's just like flinging spaghetti at the wall, you know, like some of it sticks, some of it doesn't. Like, you just got to get it. I just know one day they're going to wake up and be like, fuck, he was right. You know, like that's what's awesome about the truth. You know, like the truth sounds true to anyone, whether you're on the side of the truth or not. If you hear the truth, you're like, fuck, that's probably true. Even despite what your agenda is. So if you spew enough of the truth, these guys are going to hear it and they're going to believe it. And they will eventually believe it. It's not, you know, a choice you have. When you hear something that's the truth, you believe it or you don't, you know, like, and if you do, you're screwed either way. So I just say as much as possible these days and give as concise and accurate arguments and supply as much citations as possible these days, because some people and we're usually educating a lot of people that are just watching from the sideline that aren't actually engaged in the conversation. So hopefully a lot of people are learning stuff, but I occasionally will get someone who will send me a message and be like, "Hey man, I went vegan because of fucking this video I watched of yours." It's every once I would like it to be more often, but it does happen every once in a while, and it is really cool.
Mhm.
But it is hard because most people are not, the 999% of people you come across are going to be like, "Fuck you, I'm not going vegan,"
Yep.
and they're stuck to it. They're my meat. I can't. Oh, the dudes with their my meat. I can't give up my meat. Your meat. It's actually not yours. Literally not yours. A different sentient being's meat, body.
Yeah. And it's important to notice to people, we're gonna keep repeating on that, and it's the word sentience when we're talking about animals. I mean,
Yeah.
when you understand this principle, when you understand this truth, then you have no more justification for violence. This is the basic of everything that we're doing. So ignorance here is master. This is ignorance. It's the root of all evil. And meat, as such, the product, the industry, the money that is, it's all evil, pure evil. And
Pure evil.
there are some people who are pretentious enough to say that they're for freedom and they're for lifting up
demons.
humanity and things like that, and doing the right thing. Then they're doing the invert. They're turning around and looking their plates, and there's a big steak or chicken or dead rotting meat inside their, not even thinking about it's slavery. I have a slave on my plate, and I actually paid for it. I had to give my resource to eat dead, rotten corpses of us. And this animal, for the people who don't know what sentient is they're conscious of the environment. They're living their the full emotional spectrum, means that they have grief, joy, sadness, excitement, love, empathy. They're all This is all animal. They can all feel that. So
Yeah.
based on this knowledge, then what we're doing is illegitimate because it's violence, because it's slavery. We're treating them like we're treating ourselves. We're torturing, killing by million into wars, and like the video that I put, that you suggest me to put, we're sending their children to the slaughterhouse because they're kids, they're babies of these animals. They don't deserve this, and any of these animals don't deserve to be killed. So this is the basis for, and I put them in shorter thing. And the important thing is what you can do about it, the solution. And the solution, it's simple. It's to get this connection and cutting the meat. You don't do it at the first day. Just fucking do it less and less and less, and you're going like that. And I want to say, it's not because we eat meat that we're perfect. Nobody is perfect. We're trying to lessening harm on the earth, because this pain, this suffering has influenced us on us, and we're paying for it. They're actually residues and energy and vibration that comes out from the slaughterhouse. That's not normal that the animal are afraid of us. It's not normal that our kids behave this way. We're swimming into all this fucking perverted ritual bloodletting Satanist cult of death. This is why we have to stop consenting to it. It's simple. Don't give them your consent, and don't give them your money. That's another religion that we can talk about, but we don't have the time for this. The money has push people to make horrifying, cruel, and violent behaviors. So it's we are proof of humans don't have the necessity to eat meat. We are proof of that. My children, all vegetarian, never ate meat of their life. So you have your answers right now. You know, can you do it? Can you thrive? Can you go to the action and partake in this world and make it better? Yes, you absolutely can do. You just have to stop being ignorant. Fuck. This is what you need to do. So I have a question for you. What is the solution of this situation? What would be the first thing that you would do to change it, to transform it, to how do you call that? Alchemize this cultural indoctrination?
Well, people need to start looking inside instead of outward pointing and blaming everything else, everyone and everything else, blaming government for all their problems. So many people I see give up on their life once they become red-pilled and blame all their problems on government, while ignoring the fact that they've literally given up on doing anything and working on anything. They just become truthers and sit on the internet and talk about how they've been the victim. And these truthers, this is why they're the most full of shit, is because they know they have the implicit information. They're literally called truthers because they know the truth about what the government is doing to us, how we're being victimized by the government, how we're being enslaved by the government. And they don't make the distinction that they're doing the same thing to animals. I've literally, you can explain it to them and they just will shut it down. They're just like, it's not that humans are better. Humans are better. That's all they can. That's all they can go to is humans are better. Therefore, I'm to kill them. And I'm not enslaving them because it's not an actual, I mean, I've heard some of the dumbest things in the world, that animals actually want to be killed by us and all kinds of goofy shit. But smart people, their brains go right in the gutter when it comes to this stuff, but they know that they're full of shit. That's the problem. They don't like vegans because we remind them of their own immorality. If they didn't have us around, who would be calling these guys out for killing, literally killing, sentient beings that are very close to us. They love saying, oh, animals aren't anywhere near close to us. No, bugs aren't close to us. Animals are very close to us. Physiologically, psychologically, they want the same things we do. They just can't do some things we can do, but that doesn't give us the right to completely take everything they have from them, violate their rights to the fullest degree by taking their lives from them. Just to have a taste, just to have a sandwich. It's pretty sad and pathetic to see truthers try and explain and justify this stuff.
I mean, this is and for a reminder there for people, this is basic fundamental understandings. We're not even fucking scratching the thing. We're just stating the truth. What is happening in the now, what happened in the past, and what will happen in the future if we don't do anything. They're They're connected to us. We are one. This is the principle of mentalism. There's no separation between animals and us. They are brothers and sisters.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is the principle of correspondence: as above, so below. We're fucked up. We're messed up. We think wrong. We have beliefs. We have biases, and we have this selfishness inside of us that we need to fucking control. We have to tame this fucking beast that is the and I'm not gonna name names, but I heard on a fucking video about destroying veganism or something, and the person just told us that it was instinct. Everything is that's his instinctual things that we're absolutely going there, and this and nothing in the video we're actually talking about the truth about the consequences of such behavior. No solution whatsoever. No deep understanding, not explications, not things like that. Only biases, only beliefs, only this bloodthirst. This have to convince yourself that you're doing the good thing when you're actually defending murder and theft and all violation actually from natural law. So in this case, when the people are justifying, all their arguments are fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not based on truth, it's not based on morality, and it's certainly not based on natural law.
Yeah.
This is what we need to fucking make them understand, is you at least fucking be honest about what you're doing, and not trying to fucking give some fucking worthless, shameful justification for promoting the use of meat, the actual murder, the mass murdering of animals. This is fucking
Trillions.
insanity. This is fucking insanity, and we are supposed to be surrounded by enlightened people and things like that. And what do we have in the background? What the truth is really? Well,
no, if these guys actually were confident in their positions, they would never have to argue with us. They wouldn't feel the need to argue with us. You know, like if you know you're right, you know, like you don't, it's too funny. You know, like we remind them that they're doing something wrong, and they can't handle it. They say we get triggered, and it's like, no, we just care about animals. You get triggered because we're telling you need to change your morals.
Yep.
You're morally fucked up. And, you know, the more you continue this morally fucked up pattern you're in, the more hell on earth is going to, you know, happen.
Just imagine, man.
Yeah.
Word,
and all these carnists, they got nothing. The worst arguments ever. They have nothing that sounds good in the least bit. And like Hyper saying, when someone knows their stuff, their rhetoric, you know, pierces steel. You know, you're like, damn, that person knows what they're talking about. These carnists know jack shit. They're literally taking. Okay, so the carnivore diet guys, like the carnivore doc, all these influencers, they're all on steroids, right? Like they're literally pharmaceutical junkies. These guys are like getting diet advice from pharmaceutical junkies, and then they're claiming to be truthers and claiming to be against the state, against subsidies, against big pharma. Yet they're taking diet advice from YouTubers that are pharmaceutical junkies. It's mind-numbing.
Yeah, so we have a lot of work to do, and At least I would like to see it. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but what I'm trying to do here on the LIBERcast is to join people together. And sometimes, I have these arguments, and we have the chance of being able to share our ideas and things like that. But meat eating and not meat eating seems to be the fucking bane of the freedom movement. This is one of the most debated, the most argued, and there's chicanery there, and people don't fucking get on the a simple definition of freedom. It's no slavery.
We're here to end slavery, people.
Yeah.
Across the board slavery.
Yeah.
Not just for humans and then continuing slavery for the rest of the species. Stopping halfway up Mount Stupid and popping a tent.
Yeah, and I totally liked Mark Passio's rant that you put on one of your live stream, and he went ballistic on carnism and things like that. It was a fucking great episode. This was unmedicated fucking slapping the shit out of the freedom movement, and it was a great episode, by the way. It very revealing for some reasons. I knew the multiple schisms, but to really being witness of those said debates and arguments, it was very refreshing. When it comes from the people from the One Great Work Network or other affiliates or other groups just like that, it's very refreshing to have this kind of conversation that I keep on fucking telling people we have to do it. You're gonna have, the people who are in the occult spiritual freedom, they're gonna have to fucking get out of their comfort zone and being fucking honest about it and being able to talk with other people and not fucking insult them or fucking things like that. So there's a lot of work in this case, and I welcome the people who have other opinions and other approach and other perceptions about what is happening. It's very important to for me to be in a neutral place in that, and it's so refreshing, having to being fucking confronting and bold about this information, because every day that pass, there's millions of them slaughtered, millions of them every day, every minute. There's some of them fucking dying, tortured. It's fucking disgusting, and we have to fight against that. Would you let your fucking brothers and sisters, humans, being treated like that? I don't think so. I don't think people who are in this movement would like to be treated as such. Because it's not your fucking ass sat on the cold concrete waiting for your fucking throat to be slit. The people who are defending this, the people who are not doing anything about that, this is what you would feel. This is what you would live if you were at their place. People, empathy. This word that people keep on fucking throwing around and using it as a defense or an argument. Most people don't have empathy. They have fucking, I want my own freedom. I want to do whatever I want, even if I have to smash or pay for killing to feel better, to have my taste buds satisfied. I mean, whatever. I'm not here to fucking tell people don't eat meat or don't believe me. Just do your fucking research. Do something.
Yeah.
This is what I'm keeping.
Continue doing work.
Come on. What are you saying? I don't think you hear me. Can
Yeah,
you hear
well,
me?
yeah,
Hello?
you're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry about
But
that.
I mean, we need to stay. Yeah, no, it's cool. We need to definitely stay. We need to stay unified. Us people that know what's up, really, we need to stick together and keep pressing these fools, because if we weren't doing it, no one would be, and these guys would just be blowing smoke up their asses and wasting all this energy, all this work, this time they're doing work on bullshit. So we gotta stick together. That's for sure. And we hang out every Sunday on my channel. Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. YouTube at Jeffrey Phillips. The show's called Vegan Group Therapy, VGT Live. If anyone wants to come up on the show, whether you're a carnist or a vegan, or anyone who has anything they want to share can come up on the show. We usually do 3 hours every night. It's pretty fun. A lot of chat's really good. We got a lot of smart people on this show. It's been fun. We've done 32 episodes so far.
Nice.
So I'm finally starting to get kind of things are starting to go now after paying my dues for a while. It's hard keeping a show going, man. There are definitely a lot of times I just didn't want to do it, but I knew I just got to keep going at it. But we gotta stick together though and do some work.
Yes. And yeah, I put it there just under his camera there, youtube.com/Jeffrey Phillips on YouTube.
Yeah.
Awesome work, by the way. There's not much things there, but what is important is what has been done, and it's very helpful to see other opinions and perceptions about it. We have to grow up and being fucking just doing the work. Just do your own work, do the shadow work, and it's not gonna happen tomorrow. Even if you decide to just quit on some meats and things like that, there's a process there that you have to go through. Don't do it just like tomorrow, or don't do that. Just fucking inform yourself, educate yourself, and look how you can deal with it, how much that you can take, and how much you want to cut. And it's very important to it's not an obligation to turn into veganism, but you can turn plant-based like you mentioned earlier, and just lessening the pain and the suffering, and for them is a good step forward. You are called by this, you have to do it smartly, and there's free awesome incredible information. We're not even after 10 years, 11 years or something like that, maybe more, of not eating meat. I still can have fun. I can still eat and being well and having fun and eating. And the key behind it's cooking yourself your own food. Just look what you're doing and put what you're putting in your body. And when you're gonna start to clean your temple, then you're gonna see changes in your behavior and in your thoughts and things like that. So I invite everyone to think about it, think about what it's said, and for the people who haven't seen the last episode, just go there. I know it's not gonna be easy. There's a lot of confronting there, but the last episode is 133. It's on carnism. I encourage people to do it. And look, I know it's not gonna be easy, but we have to do it. We have to confront ourselves into that and stop this fucking behavior. Stop this fucking behavior that we're doing. It's simple as that. So do you have a last word before we're going, brother? No sound anymore. God damn it. I cannot hear you for some reasons. I don't know what's happening tonight. I have lags. I have bugs. I cannot fucking. I think I'm shadow banned on Facebook and things like that. So the information is getting through anyway. So thank you, brother, for sharing your time with me. And we're probably gonna see you tomorrow night. I think there's a VGT live there. So I'm gonna be there and talk with the guys there. Awesome conversation, experiences, and things like that. And don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, because I think this is the key there to change this fucking world. It get out of your echo chamber and your need for validation, and do the right thing. So the LIBERcast is on Facebook, YouTube, Odysee, BitChute, and Telegram, and a few others. I forget them. I'm not uploading a lot these times. I'm very busy. And the page there's 2 languages. There's French and English. So if you know the both language, then you can get all the good stuff from there. Awesome conversation there. Some were spicy, but I like it this way. We're having conversation and healthy conversation. So have a good night, everyone. See you soon. Take care.